All right, what is going on, Laker fans? Thank you very much for tuning in, making sure I'm live on all platforms here. All right, live on Instagram as well. All right, let's get it started. Disappointing night. Um, disappointing night. Lakers lose to the Philadelphia 76ers, 118 to 104, the final score. Get absolutely blown out tonight. We're going to spend a lot of time on this game. We're going to get a chance to hear from JJ Redick and see if there's an update on Anthony Davis. AD only played 10 minutes. How quick can things change in the NBA? That's just how the league works. That's how the NBA works. And just when you start feeling good about your team, you got a game like this. Tyrese Maxey goes off for 43 points against the Lakers. He had 41 through the first three quarters. I'm just looking at this on Spectrum Sportsnet. Very frustrating game. However you want to look at this, listen, I understand. I mean, right now the only news that really matters is on the Anthony Davis front, how he's feeling, if he's good to go. Left the game with an ab strain. I think that's the way they described it. And as soon as JJ talks, we'll go right to it because I think every Laker fan just wants to know how he's feeling. But overall, I think, paying attention to a game like this, you really, really didn't want the Lakers to try to walk into a game and be too overconfident. I know I mentioned this. I was doing the postgame show last night, doing my show this morning. You guys, we were having the conversation, right? I said, The game against Charlotte didn't matter as long as Lakers won tonight. They looked tired tonight. They looked like they had to play, some of these guys had to play 37, 38 minutes. Obviously, they looked like they didn't have Anthony Davis, one of the top players in the league, who dropped, what did he have yesterday, 42 and 23. But it's really, really difficult to make excuses for the Lakers when half of the Philadelphia 76ers aren't playing tonight. Joel Embiid's not there. Paul George is not there. Andre Drummond is not there. Who else do they have? They got a number of guys that they got missing right now. I'm just thinking of a few off the top of my head. And we're supposed to make excuses up for the Lakers when the Sixers have that many players that are out. I mean, key players that are out. Incredible players, incredible talent. I mean, obviously, I don't have to sit here and tell everybody the type of player Joel Embiid is. Caleb Martin was also out, so that's obviously another one. Jared McCain, but Jared McCain, I think, is out for the entire season. That's their young rookie that's playing really good ball. So just sloppy basketball. 22 turnovers for the Lakers, 27 points off of turnovers for Philadelphia. Really bad passes. Even when Anthony Davis was there, it's not like Lakers came out and, were dominating the Sixers. They came out, I think they were up 6-0, but dust settled, and by the time the first quarter was done, I'm sure the Philadelphia 76ers felt happy with where they were. But that second quarter, 48-32. Lakers give up 48 points in that second quarter. And there's, a lot of different angles that we could take in tonight's game. And, you guys can feel free to let me know how you guys feel, your thought process on the game. But they just never really gave themselves a shot. If you got 22 turnovers, you're most likely going to lose the game. Careless passes, a ton of fouls. I want to see what the free throw discrepancy was because it felt like every time I looked, the Philadelphia 76ers were taking another free throw. Now, free throws were fair. 20-23 were the Lakers, 20-25 were the Philadelphia 76ers. But they got 19 more shot attempts than the Lakers did because of all the turnovers. And, I mentioned the points off the turnovers. Fast break points were 23-12. Turnovers, points off of turnovers, 27-8. It's not going to win games like that. It was ugly all the way around. You start looking at some of the individual players. Again, I understand Anthony Davis is out of a game, but this is not Lakers are playing, a full strength Clippers team or Celtics team, or I don't know. I'm just thinking of some of the teams that the Lakers just played. Philly's missing a lot of guys, a lot of key players. Okay, let's look at some of the individual players. It just felt like once Anthony Davis was gone, you didn't really even care what AD brings offensively. It's just how easy was every bucket for the Sixers? How many times was Tyrese Maxey just getting right in the paint and scoring whenever he wanted? That's really the only thing that I think I pay most attention to. It's got less to do with how it's got less to do what Anthony Davis can give the Lakers offensively. Is they got such a hole when he's not out there defensively, and that's obviously not going to go anywhere. That's not going to change. That's not going to fix anything. Even if the Lakers do go out and make some type of a move, it's not like all of a sudden you found a guy that's going to fill in the gap for Anthony Davis when he's getting rest or minutes or whatever the case is. So tonight, just a bad loss. Right before I went on, the Spectrum crew, Byron Scott, said something to the effect, yeah, just not a good night for the Lakers. You can't really try to find a positive for the Lakers. I don't think one exists. All right, let's take a quick look here. I was kind of waiting for this. Sometimes I look forward to this. Just off a good win or a bad loss, what does the coach got to say? Here's JJ Redick.
What did you see from that point on to the game?
The second quarter. I mean, look, 3 and 4 nights back to back. I'm not sure where our sort of collective brains were at. I understand the physical fatigue. We were a step slow all night on Maxey, particularly in that quarter. Talked pregame about having a compact shell. We were hugged up on our guys, not just on Maxey, on everyone. Talked about the guys that were heavy shift guys that we could be in a help position off of, and just just get to the basket, get to the basket, get to the basket, get to the basket. And then, I mean, frankly, you're not going to win a game if somebody takes 19 more shots than you and gets 8 more offensive rebounds. Like we're throwing the ball everywhere. I think that is just, again, fatigue, mental and physical, just bad decision making and, poor execution, very unorganized throughout the game. Not our best.
You just alluded to it. You meant the 3 games in 4 nights. This does happen in the NBA, but how do you balance kind of frustration with understanding of that in these settings?
You have to look at the big picture. The big picture is we're heading in the right direction and missing a bunch of key players. So
prior to the time LeBron took some time away from the team, turnovers in high volume was kind of a recurring issue for him. Did you see anything tonight that was reminiscent of the same way he was getting those turnovers back then?
Yeah, certainly forced a couple. There was some Eric Gordon's strip on him in the post, a good individual defense. We actually, believe it or not, we actually defended well for the second half and the first 8 minutes of the game. Is that last 4-minute stretch in the 12 minutes of the second quarter where we were just terrible defensively, and obviously the turnovers hurt that. But when we actually found something good in the second half, and then we just didn't execute it. And 2 of those turnovers that he had were on those plays. I'm not sure why the ball was passed the way it was, or why Max rolled the way he did. I mean, it was a very easy 4-on-3 to create. And, again, I attribute that to just, a lot of fatigue.
JJ, you went to Bronny and the.
All right, real quick here on the fatigue part. I'm going to get back to this. Reminds me of yesterday's game. Let's hear what he's talking about with Bronny.
Just felt like on a back-to-back, just him giving us energy, I think, was the goal. I maybe put him in a tough spot, flying up yesterday and, nationally televised game and Philly, all that stuff. It's, he didn't play well, but he's been playing great, in the Stay Ready games, and he's been playing great in the G. So I have confidence in him, but obviously didn't provide that at a high level.
All right, we'll stop it right there. Let's keep going. I want to keep going with the post-game show. I got my own thoughts. I know a lot of people got their own comments. So if you got comments, throw them in. I'll do my best to try to get to it. 118-104 Philly over the Lakers. Okay, so a couple things here. He said a couple times the fatigue, 3 games in 4 nights. That's why I thought yesterday's game was so critical, that when they went up 20, somebody I think said in the post-game show, they said that you got Anthony Davis dropping 40 plus and 20 plus, and you still got to play these guys till the absolute end of the fourth quarter. That's not good basketball. If you just look at the last 2 days for the Lakers, LaMelo Ball didn't play, Brandon Miller didn't play, Joel Embiid didn't play, Paul George didn't play, Andre Drummond didn't play, Caleb Martin didn't play. Go down the list of all these guys that were out for one of those two teams. Last night, you had to still force guys like, by the way, it's not just LeBron and Anthony Davis. I know AD left the game, but LeBron had to play 7 last night. Austin Reaves and Max Christie played 38 and 39 minutes last night, so they had to turn around and go again. Dorian Finney-Smith, obviously, they didn't use Vando tonight just simply because I'm sure this is part of their regimen to get him back. No Gabe Vincent certainly didn't help as well. Rui came back. But last night's game is one of those games where when you got an opportunity to kind of bury a team, I guess is the best way to put it, especially not a good team who's missing two of their key players, you got to take advantage of it. Because maybe, just maybe, Max Christie and Austin Reaves and LeBron, and at that time maybe Anthony Davis, maybe they get to play 27 minutes instead of 36 minutes. That's what it could be the difference. It's second of a back-to-back, 3 games in 4 nights. You want to take advantage of that. They did it. So when J.J. Redick says tired legs, these guys were probably feeling it. They've already played X amount of games over these last couple of days. That's why last night kind of left a bad taste in your mouth that these guys had to play all the way through. Tonight was just bad basketball. There's just no other way to put it. I thought it was interesting, too, that they did play Bronny, and you heard J.J. kind of give some of his reasons and his thoughts of why he played Bronny in this one tonight. Well, part of the reason was it is the second of a back-to-back. Bronny is coming off a 31-point G League game. I can't remember that Saturday or Sunday. It was one of those 2 days. And maybe he thought, all right, let's see what I can get here from this guy. I could already see in a lot of the comments, people did not like Bronny getting PT early in the game or in the first half or whatever the case is. Hey, you guys are entitled to your own opinion. Obviously, if Gabe Vincent was there and if Vando was there, it's probably a different story. But in regards to him getting some playing time, he even said, yeah, he didn't play well. He didn't have a good game. I want to look at some of these individual players here for a quick second. So Bronny, I think you guys saw his stats there. He was 0 for 5 in 15 minutes. 3 turnovers. Bron had bad turnovers too. Oh my gosh. Bron had 8 turnovers tonight. 31, 8, and 9. 10 of 16 from the field, which is phenomenal. 10 of 11 from the free throw line, which is phenomenal. 8 turnovers is killer. He had 8 of the 22 turnovers that the Lakers had. Damn. Between him, Austin Reaves, and Bronny James, you're at 14 turnovers just between those 3 players. That obviously is not gonna. That's not gonna make it happen. Max Christie just 1 of 6 from the field tonight. He had 3 points. Austin Reaves 6 of 10 from the field, 13 points. But guys, for me to be pointing out offensive stats, I mean, first off, it was great to see Dalton Connect have a night. I mean, phenomenal. And Stu had said something during the broadcast. He said that he actually looks like he's shooting again, not trying to aim, not shot putting the ball up, not trying to, make it more difficult than he needs to. He just looked like a natural basketball player that was shooting again. He had 5 threes, 8 of 13 from the field. Maybe if there's one thing to take from tonight's game, it's that specifically, that he's got the ability to at least give himself a little bit more confidence in regards to that. Okay, so couple other things I'll point out here real quick. Oh, this is what I was saying about the offense. Doesn't really matter how many points all these guys dropped. They gave up 48 points in a quarter. I think at one point they were at halftime it was 73 they gave up total. 73. So when J.J. Redick says they actually played better in the second half as far as defense goes, they gave up 26 in the third quarter and 19 in the fourth quarter. But Philly was also up by 20-plus points. Tyrese Maxey could have dropped 55 tonight, no problem. What did Maxey end up playing? How many minutes did he end up playing? Played 36 minutes. If they wanted to, if this was actually a close game based on the lineups that were out there, Tyrese Maxey's dropping 50, no question about it. They took him out for a portion of the fourth quarter. They put him back in. I don't really understand why they did that. but they just had Lakers couldn't get any stops. That's it. Just couldn't get any stops. All right, let's see some of your guys' comments here. Let's take a look. See what Laker fans think about this loss. See how they're feeling. Probably angry at everybody. Gonna be mad at me. I'll be mad at me. I didn't do anything. Cam Reddish should have been put in on Maxey earlier. He could have, and maybe he would have stopped Maxey from dropping 43, and maybe Maxey would have had 41. Tyrese Maxey, Cam Reddish wasn't going to stop Tyrese Maxey. He just wasn't. But I know what you're talking about because I do think Cam Reddish had some. He kind of gave some energy to the Lakers. I don't even know how many minutes he ended up playing. 18 minutes. Wow, believe it or not, he's a +5 in the plus-minus. For Lakers to lose by 14, him and Shake Milton were the only two players with plus in the plus-minus, and Shake Milton only played 6 minutes. So Cam Reddish actually played real minutes, 18 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Cam Reddish. I don't know what happened. I don't know why all of a sudden that dude, just everything was off the bench for Cam. No longer coming in and obviously getting opportunities anymore with the Lakers. That part, that's a little surprising. I thought he kind of earned his minutes. Down 30 and LeBron is in the game. Triple-double hunting. This guy's the worst. All right, relax. Man, people either love him or hate him. Just love him or hate him. All right, let's see what else we got here. But the 8 turnovers, can't have 8 turnovers. It's a lot of turnovers, guys. Even if I try to come to the defense of LeBron. 8 turnovers. He didn't look good tonight either. I mean, offensively, he can get his points. He can, find way. Almost in his sleep, he can do that. But as far as him impacting the game and playing effectively, yeah, that wasn't happening tonight. What was he? Just looking plus minus 11. All right, let's take a look at some of these other comments here. Let's take a look here. Northborough, athletic guard cooks our backcourt. What a surprise! Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming on. Yeah, I had on my show this morning. I had a guy that covers the Sixers. His name Keith Pompey for the Philadelphia Inquirer, and I said, what can we expect from Tyrese Maxey? We're talking about Tyrese Maxey specifically. He's like, you don't understand how fast this guy is. And with Joel Embiid out, with Paul George at the game, some of their other players, he's going to have the green light to do whatever he wants. And he not only had the green light to do whatever he wanted, he did whatever he wanted against the Lakers. Northborough AES, again, brother, thank you for the super. I really appreciate that. Very nice of you to do that. Cam needs to get minutes. He could have helped. Yeah, I think in this game, if we think there was 1 or 2 changes that could have happened and Lakers were going to win this, that apparently the only way the Lakers were going to win this game was if Anthony Davis was in and if Joel Embiid and Paul George and the rest of the players were out for the Philadelphia 76ers. Thank you for the supers, buddy. All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm going to kind of go back a little bit. What kind of coach just sits back and allows his team to play lazy the whole game? Do we think this one's on JJ? I don't really know if this is on JJ Redick. This team lacks seriousness. It requires game-to-game basis to be serious contender. Trade or no trades. Until this changes, they are not contending. That's the truth. All right, let's get some more here. AD saw Bronny come in and was like, I'm hurt now. All right, see what else we have here. LeBron's turnovers had nothing to do with the loss. The loss came because you can't defend, especially the perimeter. You just can't stop anybody. Mac, they couldn't stop anybody. You also can't have 8 turnovers. Because even in games where you're getting stops, if you're giving a team 19 more shot attempts than you're probably going to lose that game. So remember, turnovers, it hits you 2 ways. Number one, you're not getting a shot attempt. And number 2, especially in today's NBA, it probably means a bucket on the other side. So it hits you in a couple different ways. It's a right hook and then it's an uppercut. It's like, what the hell just happened here? That's what turnovers are. So I don't know if there's any justification for 8 turnovers because there isn't. Let's get a couple more here, and then I want to Actually, let's do this. Bron is talking right now. Let's get Bron's thoughts on the Lakers loss.
AD leaves, I think. Yeah, good. AD leaves, I think you're up 20-17. As you know, things a lot more difficult without him. What did you try to do without him tonight, and what's the concern level moving forward?
I mean, when our best player goes out, it's always, challenging, especially in the game. Like, if he's out from the beginning, then we have a game plan set. We know what to expect. We know what our lineup's going to be. But when AD goes down, or any one of our guys go down throughout the course of a game, it's just, it's tough. I didn't even realize it till the second quarter when he didn't come back in his regular minutes. And I looked over the bench. He wasn't over there, so I found it at halftime. But level of concern, I think he'd be fine.
Thought that maybe some of the fatigue of the schedule and the travel could have contributed to the turnovers for not just you, but for the team.
No issues. It's got to be better.
As you shift to Washington and New York to finish up this stretch of the trip, like, where does the concentration land?
You just got to be better. We can't make the same mistakes. We can't allow teams to get out, and we have too many turnovers tonight that resulted in too many buckets for them. I already said that we don't have a lot of room for error. So when we make errors, teams usually pay, or make us pay. So we got to be better. It also starts with me too, being one of the primary ball handlers.
Ron, this has been a team, at least from JJ's perspective, where points emphasis have to be kind of hammered repeatedly.
Yep.
How much has turnovers and playing smartly been a point of emphasis lately?
I mean, that should be. I mean, that's the game. You look at all sports. I mean, when you make mistakes, the teams usually make you pay, and we just can't make mistake after mistake after mistake. And I think tonight we just countered it. We compound too many mistakes in a row. So it was hard to come back from that.
It seemed like guys were pretty frustrated. You looked a couple times like felt like everything that was going wrong could. What was sort of the underlying frustration?
It's frustrating when you want to play better, obviously. You want to play better and you want to give your best foot forward. And obviously when you don't do that, you get a little frustrated with it. But, it's an opportunity that you kind of look at the film and see the ways you can be better for the next game. Obviously, we don't play them again. I think that was our last time playing Philly. We did a good job of getting their hands on a lot of our loose balls, whatever the case may be, and turned us over. So you give a lot of credit to their defense as well.
All right, we'll stop right there. Keep this keep things rolling here. It's kind of funny. I'm looking at this, like saying to myself, I was out earlier. I'm sorry. I did my show in the morning, and then I'm out a little bit earlier. And I'm like, all right, so let's see. They get a win against Philly. All right, where does that put them? That puts them 9 games over 500. Probably threatened now for the 4th place. Like, isn't that funny? And is that not the NBA? Every time you kind of start, all right, yeah, if Lakers can just do this, and then they got that handled, it's good momentum. And then you got some of these, the vibe's always good in the post-game show after they win. You got this. I'm like, all right, well, that's over. That's over here real quick. All right, I start a couple of these. Let me get to a few of these. Slee, I need something positive tonight. Okay, I'll tell you something positive tonight. 2-1 on the road trip. Dalton Connect dropped 24. We haven't seen Dalton Connect do something in a while. Trade deadline is about a week and 2 days away, so a chance to get the team better. Somebody had a comment here. Nobody's stopping Maxey besides Jared Vanderbilt. I think this also kind of tells you that when this team is whole, they're going to need to be whole. They're going to need things to go their way. We're going to see what eventually happens potentially at the NBA trade deadline. But if Vando was out there tonight, you got one of your defensive stoppers that they're going to need against all these elite point guards or these elite backcourts. But even if Vando was out there tonight, the team just didn't play well. It just wasn't a well-played game from excuse me there, guys. Just wasn't a well-played game from a team perspective. So, by the way, I'm okay. For those who are wondering, hey, Slee, you okay? See, it looked like you kind of tweaked your neck a little bit. How's the lower back, Al? I'm okay. I just want you guys all to know that I'm okay, that I'm doing all right. Slee, that wasn't a 14-point loss. This game wasn't close, lost by 30. Yeah, I forgot who it was. I think it was Stu Lance had said something to the effect of the scoreboard might say that Lakers lost by 14, but they were down by a lot more than that, throughout the game. DFS, not impressed. All right, if you guys want me to be honest, real, yeah, he's been okay. I haven't really been impressed either. I was expecting more from Dorian Finney-Smith. Is this going to be one of those situations like all these other players that get traded to the Lakers, or the Lakers get in the buyout market, or, whatever the case is? But Dorian Finney-Smith's been so far. I like to see a few games from him. Let me give you guys, if you go to ESPN, shows his last 5 games. They always do like recent games. Here's what he is so far in his last 5 games. Okay. Against the Washington Wizards, he had 16 points. That was his best game as a Laker. Boston did not score. Did have a couple of steals. 8 points against Golden State. 6 points against Charlotte. 3 points against Philly. Now, I've said this about him. He's not going to be Vando's really not going to be a stat guy. Like, you really can't show his value if you're just looking at his stats. DFS, not as much of a stat guy either, but more of a stat guy than Vando because he can shoot the rock. Because he's supposed to be a 3-and-D guy, because he's coming from a team where he was shooting 43, 44% from the three-point line. I've been underwhelmed. I hate to say it because I'm one of the guys, a cheerleader for the trade, a cheerleader for him on the Lakers, and I still believe he's going to be fine. I'm a cheerleader for him in a playoff run. That's the type of player that you want to have on your squad during the playoffs, during the postseason. So, but he has not been impressive. I don't know how else to put it. I haven't watched anything so far that tells me, hey, this is a no-brainer. This guy's clearly comfortable, that whole thing. So hopefully as the season progresses, he shows more and more impact. That is showing. Some of it might not show on the stat sheet, but then you also need something to show on the stat sheet. Like Vando can have games where he can have 4 points and 7 rebounds and 3 steals, and you felt his impact during the game. Dorian Finney-Smith, the way you're going to feel his impact is he's playing solid defense, obviously. Playing solid defense, obviously, but also hitting shots, getting buckets out there. All right, let's keep things going here. If Kelly Oubre is available, we got to get that dude. I think they got too many in that position. I don't think he's going to be available. I think Philly's not going to make any moves. I think Philly's going to try to ride this thing out, try to get to the play-in tournament, try to get healthy, try to get into the play-in tournament and take their chances from there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Anthony Davis left game first quarter, abdominal strain. I haven't seen any updates, and I was looking at a couple of the beat writers, looking at Dave McMenamin's. Let's see what he's got. Yeah, nobody's really said anything yet on Anthony Davis, but I'll take LeBron's word for it. What did LeBron say? LeBron said he'll be all right, so go from there. By the way, just a quick heads up, tomorrow, I'll take the criticism for this one. That one's on me. You all overhyped DFS. I'll take that. I'll take that criticism. I'm going to keep my stock in DFS. If DFS was a stock out there, and you guys are selling, I'll buy some of that stock. Give me some of that stock. I'm going to take my chances with DFS. Not a good start. I'll admit that. Not a good start. What was I just about to get into? What was one of the comments that I saw here? I think it was tomorrow. So tomorrow I got my show at 8 a.m. Of course, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is a Sliwa show. Usually go past 9 a.m. Dave McMenamin's going to join the show tomorrow. So make sure you tune in. You can ask all these Laker questions, kind of trade scenarios. What the hell happened tonight? Maybe there's an update on Anthony Davis. So tomorrow morning, if you can join the live show, would love to have you. That starts at 8 a.m. and Dave McMenamin's going to join at 8:15. So something to keep in mind. All right, let's keep going with the postgame show here. By the way, please subscribe to the channel. If you've yet to subscribe, putting out a lot of content on a daily basis, and hopefully this is the type of content that you guys are looking for. All right, let's see what else we got here. They aren't using him right. Okay, yeah, let's get some DFS. Let's get some Dorian Finney-Smith. Finney-Smith chatter here. Bless you, Slee. Bless you. Big up, Al. Bless you, sir. Thank you, guys. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'm okay, by the way. A lot of people wouldn't play through that. A lot of people would end their broadcast. I've seen it happen plenty of times. I've seen a lot of people in the middle of their broadcast, they sneeze. That's it. They're out. They're done. Slee keeps going. Just keep going. By the way, did you guys see this? I'll get into it more tomorrow. Did you guys see this article about De'Aaron Fox? It was so, by the way, is that not the most, damn, this Lakers franchise. It's so funny. Here's De'Aaron Fox, okay? Again, tomorrow I'll spend more time on this. Shams had put something out. The Kings expected to open up talks to potentially deal all-star De'Aaron Fox ahead of the February 6th trade deadline. Sources tell ESPN. He's on ESPN. He's telling the story. It sounds like, he's going to try to make his way to San Antonio. And then out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, I get the connection. The connection is Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, which is who represents De'Aaron Fox. Says, one thing I could say with Rich Paul, we know he's got LeBron James and Anthony Davis on the Lakers. I'm told the Lakers are not part of that destination of choice for De'Aaron Fox potentially. So Lakers always weaved into something. Always weaved in. I mean, I get the connections. It's De'Aaron Fox, it's Clutch Sports, it's Rich Paul. I get those connections. But apparently De'Aaron Fox wanted to make sure that was known. Hey, LA is not the Lakers are not a place that I'm looking to go to. Tomorrow I'll spend a little bit more time on that, but this is big time news. They changed their coach. They've won 11 of their last 15 games. They've kind of worked their way up a little bit, but I think they've lost a couple games in a row now. And they're kind of back in the chatter of, potentially trying to get to the playoffs. And the next thing you see, clearly, he's under contract for all of next season. So the Sacramento Kings have been trying to figure out, hey, do you want to stay here or do you not? And it looks like he doesn't want to stay with the Sacramento Kings, so they're going to take their chances with that. Let's play Austin Reaves here real quick, and then we'll keep going with some of the comments here.
What you have to do to find a way to win?
Regardless of who's playing, we got to find a way to be better. Obviously, it sucks when one of your best players is not available, but got to find a way to be better.
What obviously part of the game plan is Maxey. He's fast. He's going to get to certain spots. What in the defensive shell wasn't there, kind of behind when he was getting to the rim and kind of repeatedly getting over to that right side?
I think there was a lot. We weren't guarding it with five guys. We were kind of leaving guys on islands, and low man wasn't there. But can't really pinpoint one. I think it was way more than one.
When a team's fatigued physically and mentally and the mistakes start happening, what does it sort of feel like out there when it just seems like everything's going wrong?
I mean, it sucks. You can't feel like you can't get a good break, and every time you mess up, it feels like the other team executes on your turnover, on your missed box out, whatever it is that you don't execute. I feel like the other team takes advantage of that, and it's bad, but we got to be better.
Part of the challenge of 82 games is taking a disappointing loss and being able to bounce back from it. What do you think you guys need to do in Washington and New York to just get back right?
Go win both games. That's always the main goal. Every time we step on the court is to win, and that doesn't change just because we had a bad loss here. Go win.
All right, we'll stop right there. Keep things rolling here. By the way, that schedule is not going to get that much easier. They're kind of getting through all those easy games that were lined up for them, I guess you can say. When I say easy, I mean more just kind of also depends what players are available and everything else. So, all right, let's look at some of the comments here. Yeah, I got some people talking about DFS here. We got one here. DFS is fine. He'll come in handy when the playoffs come around. And I think before the playoffs too, but I do think he'll be a key player. Tim Keene, I think this goes back to the Lakers aren't using him right. Start DFS and see what we got. The guy has started his whole career. He isn't used to coming off the bench. I'm not opposed to DFS in the starting lineup. I'm not. Now, listen, nobody's going to overreact. Remember I was telling you guys this, that I think we're having this conversation. People thought, hey, Rui's going to lose his starting spot. I'm like, no, if Rui's coming off an injury, he's going to come back and start. So he started tonight. Now, granted, Vando wasn't even available, so I think he was going to come back anyways. But I think the DFS portion of it, I don't know what the best way to use him. I don't know if he has to start, he doesn't. I just want to see more production from him. That's all. That's it. Nothing more than that. It's kind of an interesting one here. All right, let's see here. So I know tonight was a TNT game. Did they just rip the Lakers? Was tonight one of those where they just demolished the Lakers? Because if they did, I would get it. I would understand it. I watched it on Spectrum, so I did not see the game on TNT. Fox said he doesn't want to go to the Lakers. Yep. Do a little bit more of that tomorrow. I saw somebody say that they wouldn't want to see Fox on the Lakers. Let me see who said that. See if I could find that one here. Here's one. I would love to have Fox, but at what cost? And then here's Brian Jackson. I want Fox, but no. These are all people that want Fox. Yeah, I've said this in the past, and this was kind of earlier on in the season, or earlier on when it looked like De'Aaron Fox wanted out, and then they made the coaching change. He started winning games. You thought, okay, maybe. Here's the one. I would not want Fox on the Lakers. Bron will dominate the ball. If the Lakers had a chance to get De'Aaron Fox, I'd try to move heaven and earth to bring him. And I would do that because I would take my chances with De'Aaron Fox and Anthony Davis for the next 3 to 5 years, knowing that you still got to build, obviously a roster around them. You need a lot more talent around them as well. But I'm a fan of De'Aaron Fox's game. I'm a fan of his game. I would take my chances all day long with De'Aaron Fox. All right, let's get a couple more comments here. And then I want to really quickly kind of preview the next game coming up for the Lakers. And then we'll call it a night. Okay, so next one the Lakers got coming. Interesting 3 games coming up. By the way, there was a announcement today. There's some scheduling changes. So it looks like the Lakers and the Spurs, that game was rescheduled, remember, because of the fires out in LA. That game was scheduled again. Then they moved the Milwaukee Bucks game. So anyways, that's all coming up in March. So just a heads up, if you have a schedule, the Lakers schedule, go get it updated because it's not going to be the same. But it's what the Lakers got coming up as far as their next couple of matchups. So one thing to keep in mind, and this is the reality and the truth, because I have no idea if Anthony Davis is going to be available, if he's going to be good to go, whatever the case is. Any game that Anthony Davis doesn't play in, Lakers have a legitimate chance of losing that game. So I don't care if they're playing the Washington Wizards, who is the next opponent that the Lakers got coming up on Thursday. Another one of these early starts. I want to say that's a 4 p.m. tip-off. But it does not matter if you got the Wizards. It doesn't matter if you got, Charlotte. I mean, hell, Anthony Davis was there, and the Lakers almost lost that game. Washington is 6-39. They've lost 14 games in a row. If you don't have Anthony Davis, you could lose that game. So that's the next one coming up. And then you got kind of one of the funner matchups coming up for the Lakers. It's on Saturday night. Lakers taking on the New York Knicks from the Madison Square Garden. All you're hoping for and all you're asking for is that the Lakers can be healthy for that game. That AD can be there, that Vando can be there, that Gabe Vincent can be there. You got to have each of your players for that game. The Knicks, 31-16, probably, could potentially even pass the Boston Celtics as far as the standings go. I know there's only a 1-game difference between both of those teams, but you got Knicks and then you got Clippers. You're 2 games after you take on the Wizards. So you got real competition that's coming up. Not going to be easy. It's going to be, we know how much the Lakers have struggled with the Clippers, just struggled against them about a week ago or so, a week and a half ago or so, and it will be a Clippers home game. So that'll be the final, technically, of the 6-game road trip for the Lakers. So they got the Wizards, they got the Knicks, and then they got the Clippers. 2-1 so far on this road trip. And it certainly doesn't help, obviously not having AD there. All right, let's take a look at some of these comments here. Let's get a couple of these comments in, then we're going to call it a night. Let me see here. Slee, I've only seen Fox play against LA. No, we watched him in the playoffs. I mean, they had that really good series, that 7-game set against the Golden State Warriors. A couple playing tournament games. Watched him as well. Occasionally, some nationally televised games if it's the right matchup. I'll watch some of that as well. All right, let's see what else we got here. And he's not coming. I mean, it sounds like he's going to try to get to. It sounds like he's going to try to get to San Antonio. Slee, I jinxed it because I was literally just thinking today, AD hasn't been hurt. I mentioned this morning, I was talking about how Anthony Davis is basically on pace to play almost the same amount of games as he did last year. Last year, he played 76 and was really kind of on pace to do that again this year. All right, let's get one more in and we'll call it a day. I don't know why the Lakers are so obsessed with AR being the point guard. AR can't handle the ball. Go blitz him and he will lose it immediately. Rui needs to go. I don't think they really have many other options, to be honest with you. I don't think there's, 3, 4, 5 different options that the Lakers have in regards to that. So in a perfect world, that probably wouldn't be the case, but I think that's kind of just the situation at the moment. So just something to keep in mind. You know what I have not done here? We'll do this real quick as well. Instagram, live on IG. Let's get Samuel here. Why would Fox want to come play on our squad? Braun handles the ball too much for him to fit on our squad. When I talk about De'Aaron Fox, I talk more about the future. Now, granted, I still think he would be an absolute baller this year. What it could potentially do is allow LeBron to become the third best player on this team. De'Aaron Fox is not coming to LA. He's not coming to the Lakers. So let's get that part out. But any trade that you make for a player like De'Aaron Fox, the idea and the concept is you get a player like him, you want him with Anthony. Who are you going to pair up with Anthony Davis? That's really the idea and the thought process there. All right. I went into my buying the stock, and more people said, "Well, go ahead and they'll continue selling." What the hell was that? They're such a roller coaster. Some of these are coming off IG. I haven't been looking at Instagram while I'm doing the show. I'll start doing that. So thank you for being a part of the show. All right, my people. I think that's all we got for tonight. That's it. Maybe is the jersey. Easy money. Thank you for the super. Maybe it's the jersey. I don't know if you're talking about De'Aaron Fox. I'm not 100% sure what you're talking about in regard to that, but I appreciate the super there. All right, everybody. Thank you for being a part of the show. We got a good 40-plus minutes into the postgame. Lakers lose to the Sixers, 118-104. Back on tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. For the Sleewa Show. And I'll put it, obviously, up on YouTube, on X, and on Instagram. So we'll get it on all the platforms. Dave McMenamin at 8:15. Hope you guys can join the show. Please subscribe to the channel if you've yet to subscribe to the channel. Trying to close in on 30,000 subscribers. Can really use your support. Thank you, everybody. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. We'll get back with you guys tomorrow morning.